In anger, my girl added a guy friend that she promised she would never talk to. Should I go?
Well, you should set the healthy boundary, but if she's continuing to violate the boundary, then obviously she doesn't respect you enough to comply with your wishes. And something like that, obviously she's doing it to make you jealous for whatever reason. Probably because you got irritated and upset about it before, but that is not something a woman who appreciates and values monogamy, loyalty, exclusivity, family, being together is just going to do. That sounds like somebody that's immature or a girl that's not that into you. And so, therefore, she's giving you the hairy middle finger because she doesn't respect you enough. And unfortunately, there are women that are like that. So that's up to you. You got to put your big boy pants on. You can have a calm discussion with her and explain why that's inappropriate. But, if this is the third or fourth time she's done, because obviously he knows who this dude is, so it's probably happened before. And so when women start signaling their attention to other men when they're supposedly in a relationship with you, that's not a good sign.
Well, it says she added his guy friend on, so she probably just secretly likes him, and then when they break up, she's probably just going to slowly talk to him to be friends with him behind
it's his guy friend?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, it depends on the level of friendship that he has or how well he knows her, but typically that's not a good sign because what did he say? He said something like he told her not to and she did it anyway?
That she promised she would never talk to.
And this is a friend of his?
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. It sounds like, well, maybe his friend is not really a loyal dude. So obviously there's a history there, and they've had a discussion. He basically said, hey, this is not cool to do. And so at some point she says, okay, I won't. And then later on down the line, that tells me that she doesn't see that their future is going to be very long, that their future is actually short. Maybe she's looking for the exits, or she's just giving him the hairy middle finger for whatever reason. And it's not a good sign because it sounds like he's already set a boundary and she's just going, screw you.
Yeah, the guy friend is probably like one of those like scummy guy friends. They're like, hey, man, your girl's hot.
My question is if he's like his best friend.
Well, it just said it's a guy friend. It didn't say it was a best friend. So it's probably a scummy guy.
My supposed best friend, best man at my wedding, was also friends with my wife because we all hung out together. And then I know I've talked about this before in my normal YouTube videos. I had gone to him in confidence and explained what I was going through, trying to figure out my own feelings and what I wanted to do because I just wasn't happy. I didn't want to be married. I kind of felt like I'd gone along with it and was at the point where I was ready to end the relationship. And so when I sat down to tell her, I can remember this like it was yesterday. It was a long time. It was over 25 years ago. We sat down in our bed and I started to tell her, and her reaction was like, she already knew. And then she tells me, she's like, oh, I already know. Oh, so-and-so told me. And I was like, oh, motherfucker. And then so later on down the line, I don't know, it was a couple months later, she and I were at lunch, because we parted on good terms. And she's like, oh, by the way, so I was hanging out with so-and-so, my best friend, best man at my wedding. And so they're hanging out together, and I was lunch or dinner or something like that. It was at night after work. And she proceeds to tell me that he says, so you want to fuck or what?
Oh.
And I was just thinking, what a dick. What a dick. That's a dick move. If there was a lot of chemistry and he wanted to date her, the honorable thing to do is like, hey, your ex-to-be and I, we like each other, and I'd like your permission to go out with her. I know you're in the middle of a divorce, but would you be cool with it? If not, I won't. But his attitude was like, screw him. This was the same dude that when I had my Lotus Esprit, like literally the second fucking day I had, first day I drove it to work.
Oh, he crashed.
And then the next day he's like, oh, let me take it. I was like, sure. And so he drives it to work. He's hot rodding it in the neighborhood, and the engine's in the back of the car. And so it's very heavy in the ass. And even though it had big, wide, gummy tires, there, the housing development where he sold new homes there was, sand and dirt and shit on the road. And so he went around a corner, hot rodding it, showing it off to some other dude, and the thing spun around, hit a concrete light pole, and it snapped. And luckily for them, it fell the other way instead of on top of the car. And it took me 6 months to get that car back, and probably another 6 months after that, sending it down like 3 more times to Palm Beach Motor Cars for them to finally get it right where it was running well. And that was just a number of things that guy had done. And the interesting thing is my parents never liked him. They never liked him at all, even when when I was in I was like 19, 20, and his mom kicked him out, and he lived with us for a few weeks until that got patched up, and my parents did not like him. And I look back at it now, my parents are right. He was not a good person. He's, smile out of your face, and meanwhile he's hitting on your girl behind your back. Well, even though it was an ex-wife to be, it still's not appropriate.
It's just not appropriate in general, whether or not you're even with the girl, because you never know. I don't know. All I know is that I've been there, done that, and that kind of stuff is not pretty. So.
It was no bueno.
Yeah.
Not fun. Eventually we parted ways, and he rode off into the sunset, and so did I.
I think this guy should just get rid of both of them. The girl and the guy friend that she's talking to.
Yeah, there's obviously he doesn't trust his guy friend.
Right. So that's probably not somebody he should have in his life. And if the girlfriend doesn't respect his wishes, then...
Hey, go be together. You guys, good luck to you. Have a nice life together.
Go have fun.
They seem like they could probably be at a immature age or at an immature stage of their life, and they're at that learning curve. So this will definitely be a learning lesson for him and his friend, and hopefully the girl.
Yeah, that does sound very immature. That's something you would do like your younger 20s or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna talk to his friend.
Right.
Fuck him.
Fuck him. I'm gonna add his friend, make him jealous.
Or she calls the male orbiters. It's the same kind of thing. And
Yeah.
Bottom line, she doesn't respect the relationship. And when a girl does that, she's just trying to make the guy jealous. And that's not cool. Or the girl hits on your friends. So maybe she's done that in the past. Maybe she's hit on other guy friends. So that's not a good sign. That's not somebody you want to wife up. That's not somebody you really want to be in an exclusive relationship with, because she just doesn't care. Women that do that are like, to the streets. Throw her back in the pond. Go fish somewhere else.
Dead fish.
She's for the ponds because she's a silly goose.